All right, I want to welcome everyone to a new episode of S.I.T.E. I'll be talking with Griffin Tucker. He's a great rocker from down in Texas. I know you're going to enjoy his music, and we're going to have a lot of great conversations with him. He's been a rocker for a long time, ever since I've known him. Been doing it for a long time. So I know you're going to enjoy everything. How's it going today, Griffin?
It's going all right. How are you, Tommy?
Doing pretty good. Now that I finally got sunshine up here, I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Here lately, we haven't been seeing much sunshine. It's been all clouds.
Oh, actually, down here in Texas, it's pretty much the same as you. So.
Oh, that's
It's
not
cold.
good. It's not good. Hey, well, it's been cold up here, and I'm getting tired. I'm ready for spring to come in. Definitely doing that. I know you had a big weekend, or might have been a week, because you've been at NAM.
Yes.
You go pretty regular, don't you? To that?
Actually, no. I haven't been to Winter NAMM since 2011, but it was really great to be back.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of pictures you put up. It looks like you met a lot of cool people, done cool stuff.
Yes, I
Want to
did.
fill us in on a little bit of it?
What?
You want to fill us in on a little bit of what you got to do?
Let me fill you in.
Absolutely.
I got there on Thursday. I got to see Bonzo Bash, which of course there's so many great drummers, and one person who I don't know, I haven't heard a lot about like what people thought of Bonzo Bash, but Frank Hannon, who is in Tesla, he was amazing. He did songs like Heartbreaker and Immigrant Song, and he played guitar and he sang, and he was unbelievable. But there were a lot of great drummers. I don't want to pick anybody out, but everyone knows who did greatly there. And so I went to the actual NAMM convention for Friday and Saturday. Got to see a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Reconnect with a lot of cool people. So.
Did you get to perform any while you were there?
No, I didn't. I really wish I would have though.
But cool. Yeah, absolutely. Should have.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. 2020.
Yeah, that's it. Always. You come a long way in music and stuff, and I've watched you grow up quite a bit. There is a great deal I would like to talk to you about because of course I've done interviews differently. When I did the magazine kind of thing, and now doing something different. It's good to actually speak with you and learn more. And let's start from where you're at now. How old are you now?
I'm 17 years old.
When you first started out, what was your first instrument you started playing?
My first instrument actually was drums. I started playing when I was 5. I actually went to a guitar store with my family, and I couldn't exactly stay home because I was 5. And of course, I saw the drum section. And I was like, I want to hit all those things. So it was history from there.
I had a drum set when I was little too, but I didn't do nothing but make a bunch of noise. It just nothing ever clicked. I've got guitars and stuff hanging here. I've had some of them ever since I was about 17 or 18 years old. Can't play nothing. I've tried. It ain't from lack of trying. I just don't. Nothing sticks in here. So
At least they look cool.
Yeah, they look cool. That's one thing, isn't it? Absolutely. I'm on social media everywhere, Twitter and every place, and especially Twitter. People is talking about you all the time. There's always sharing your stuff and doing things. That's a good place to be. Having that kind of a success. We have so many followers, is posting yourself. How does that feel for you?
It's honestly so humbling. Because when I just look at like maybe my homepage on like Twitter, it's hard to think about like the faces behind the numbers, but when you really get to like talk with people online from who knows where, from Europe, from all different parts of the world, it's so humbling to think about. And it just makes me happy just to talk to people who appreciate me, and of course I appreciate them.
Okay, cool. Is there anything somebody's ever said to you that just stuck at your head? Just anything off the wall?
Oh, I have a lot of great fans who have said a lot of great things to me over the years, but for the life of me, I can't think of a single one.
That's all right. They appreciate you. They don't mind. I tell you. You know, when I first started watching you and stuff, and I guess started watching your videos, you were doing a whole lot of Beatles stuff. Are you still doing any Beatles?
Yes, I am. Actually, whenever I do acoustic shows, um, most of those sets are comprised of Beatles and solo Beatles stuff.
What you with the didn't you have a little group or something where y'all was doing some commemorative stuff for Beatles?
Yes, I did. When I was 8, I played drums and I sang some vocals for a Beatles tribute band, and I had that for 3 or so years,
You
something
still
like
you
that.
don't do that anymore?
Not anymore.
Oh,
I do miss it sometimes though. It was a lot of
I
fun.
would say you would have to. That had to be a great feeling and a lot of fun
Oh
doing.
yes.
That's absolutely good. Yeah. Yeah. When you was playing all that stuff, which song of theirs was your favorite to do every time?
To play, I don't have an actual favorite Beatles song because of course there's so many different songs to choose from and so many different parts to pick out. Like maybe like the drums from Ticket to Ride, or the bass line from Hey Bulldog, or the lyrics from I Am the Walrus, or something like that. It's hard to just pick a favorite Beatles song, but to do with that band, I loved doing like Roll Over Beethoven because I'd get to get up at the front of the stage and play guitar, which was always fun.
Yeah.
Um, I used to do Paperback Writer on guitar. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but I don't think I really have a favorite. It's just too hard to pick, you know.
It is because Beatles is one of them kind of groups that I don't think there is a bad song. They're all.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one plays. You know that becomes your favorite for that time. Then the next one comes on. That's my favorite.
I don't know. I don't know about Wild Honey Pie. Most people say Revolution 9, but I don't know about Wild Honey Pie. So.
Yeah. Now, I still like all your videos. I go back and watch every now and then, and I'm glad you leave some of these early ones up because a lot of people take them down as they progress.
Right.
And I like that you left some of them there because you can really see that and where you began and where you're going to now, and it's great.
And it's really tough for me to know like if I should take some videos down just because of trying to like push a certain video up. But I'm really proud that I was able to start a while ago, and that I was able to do videos like the cover I did of Help and Dear Prudence and Maybe I'm Amazed. But I'm really proud that I made those videos a long time ago, even though I was a little teeny weeny little boy back then.
That's all right. That's all right. That brings me up to my next thing. After watching those videos to where you are now. I mean, you was cute as hell then, and now you're a handsome young man now. Your mom had to have a hell of a time keeping the girls away.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I'd say that had to happen. But that's a pretty good problem to have, though, isn't it?
It's all right. Doesn't happen too often, but it
I mean,
makes me
after
really
all,
happy.
I mean, I know you play a little bit of everything, but guitarist always gets the girls.
Yeah, I guess so. Not so much the poor bassist,
Yeah, well, you've written a lot of great songs and stuff. Are any of them co-written, or all of them you?
All of my songs, until I released my latest song, Beautiful Disaster, were all written by. I always had a hand in writing them. For Beautiful Disaster, my friend Alex Reed actually wrote that song and gave it to me, just because she thought that it would suit me well, and I love the song. I think it's a nice switch up from what I usually do. Believe it was definitely a straight up just a rock and roll album. I thought I might kind of somewhat go into like the pop genre, not fully, but I thought I just might dabble into it. But yeah, all my songs except for that one. Actually, also Need You Badly.
Yeah.
Need You Badly. My friend Paul gave me that song, and of course, it's a very Beatlesy song. And at the time, I was doing all that kind of Beatles covers and all that kind of stuff. So that was a fun one to do. But other than those two, all my songs are I had a hand in writing them.
Okay, that's cool. That really is. Now that Beautiful Disaster is a great song. You know, I've listened to it several times since you've released it.
Thank you.
It really is a nice song, you know. Does that song have some kind of a meaning to you? I mean, when you heard it, started listening to it, say, yeah, this is cool, you know. Made you
Well, Beautiful Disaster, it really just reflects when I really like sing the song. I didn't write it, but when I listen to it and I sing it, it's really just reflects my perspective on life. Life isn't always going to be the highlights that you post on social media. It's really just about taking each day as it comes and looking at all the not so highlights of life and just taking the good out of them and leaving the bad behind.
yeah.
So that's why I really connect with the song.
Yeah, well, that's I think that's about basic with most songs. You got to take the good out of it. Well, I hope everybody does, no matter what song they listen to, who they are. I hope they find the good in it, and it means something to them. Absolutely. You know, I think it's time now that everybody hears that song. What do you think?
It sounds good to me.
All right, let's bring it on. Right here it is, Beautiful Disaster.
Here and now, I am looking back on the days, all the times when I lost my way. In the rain, I'd run for cover. Instead of being cleansed, I let it pull me under. Instead of feeling blessed, but now I have come to this place. When I see lightning flashing, I'll know it's angels crashing. I feel the passion, cause it's beautiful. Let go of my defenses, just to awake my senses. The storm is ending in this beautiful disaster. This is real, I have come to see face to face. All the doubt that I feel inside's been erased. Each cloud has a silver lining. No matter how dark it seems, and it won't keep the sun from shining or let it break my dreams. And now I have come to this place. When I see lightning flashing, I'll know it's angels crashing. I feel the passion, cause it's beautiful. Let go of my defenses, just to awake my senses. senses. The storm is ending and it's beautiful. When I see light flashing, I know it's Satan's crashing. I feel the passion 'cause it's beautiful. Let go of my defenses, just to awaken my senses. The storm is ending in this beautiful disaster. Oh.
That was a great song. Your voice has gotten a lot of depth since you first began. Of course, that's normal with age. For boys, it gets deeper and more going on with it, more character and everything. And your voice it complements any song, no matter it's a cover song or whatever you're singing, or whatever. It's great. I mean, it has come into a really good spot in you. It's
Thank you
hard
so
to
much.
it's hard to explain sometimes when people has this great voice, and it feels every little notch seems like when it comes to the character and the depth of it. It's got a little dynamics in there. Good
Thank you
stuff,
so
really.
much.
You play all kinds of different instruments in some of your videos. Do you do that on all your songs? Are you the main instrumentalist on all your songs, or somebody else joins in, or what?
Except for my first version of Girlfriend, not the one that's on my Believe It CD, but the first version of Girlfriend that's on the video that I guess most people who know me know by now. That's the only song of mine that doesn't feature me playing everything and anything on it. But all my other songs,
It's all you.
It's all me.
Okay. Piano, everything.
Yes.
Okay. Very talented man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How many instruments do you play now?
I can never keep count. I play
10?
drums, bass, guitar, keys, piano. I count singing as an instrument because not everyone can sing.
It
And
is.
I've been working on my voice a lot lately.
Your
actually.
voice is an instrument, absolutely.
Well, thank you. I play ukulele, mandolin, harmonica, and then like the percussion instruments that you play in like a school band or something.
Yeah.
Like xylophone and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if that counts as music. Yeah, I guess I better be quiet. Since you do all this with the instruments and everything, do you produce any of your stuff?
I haven't really considered myself like the producer. But I definitely like to have a hand in like mixing and figuring out like what can make a song more interesting, more pleasurable to listen to. But I wouldn't call myself like the main producer, but I'm definitely trying to get more involved in the post-production of a song.
So you don't do none of that at home? Do your own thing?
Actually, I've been trying to record at home.
How's it going?
It's going all right. A couple of my songs, I'm trying to think. For if you've heard my cover of Jingle Bell Rock.
Okay.
Jingle Bell Rock. All of my Christmas covers I did at my house. Some of the stuff for Believe It was done at my house. All the drums were done at my house. Some of the guitars were done at my house. But I definitely kind of like getting into a studio and just kind of getting into that atmosphere. But it's definitely cool to be able to record at home.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Since you've played so many instruments and everything, I thought you might be doing a little, more into the production side of it.
Right.
I never knew for sure, and I wanted to find out.
I love doing that type of stuff, and my mixer, he never says to me that he gets like peeved or anything or irritated or anything. But I found that I'm greedy because I do play everything, and I'm like, oh, I want to hear the cool thing I did on that part. Oh, I want to hear what I did on the bass line. But of course, I've been trying to see like what sounds better. Like, should I have like maybe like more kind of subdued drums? Should I bring the drums out more for a different type of feeling for a song?
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot of fun just to kind of play with stuff just to see what sounds cool.
What I always thought was for instrumentalists, especially one who comes up with music for songs and stuff, new songs, is how well they can create that stuff just in their head. That's always been a trick to me, because I go to Nashville now around these session players and stuff, and they just out of nowhere, just something new just pops up to it. That'd go good with this song over here, and they just start playing. I mean, I don't understand it.
It's a lot of fun to write. For me, it usually just comes down to just sitting down, and especially for whatever I've been listening to at the time. If you listen to some of my songs, I was really on a Wings kick whenever I would write a song like Who to Be. Of course, I would be in like a Beatles kick if I was writing a song like, I don't know, Gotta Get the Girl,
Yeah.
or something like that. Maybe Kiss for a song like Believe It.
Yeah.
Maybe AC/DC for another. I Gotta Tell You. But it really just comes down to like, if I'm listening to something and like, oh, I could take something from that song.
Yeah.
I can take a little bit of something from this song and just kind of join them all together just to make my own idea, and then add my own little spice to it. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. When you're out playing, what song of yours do people ask for the most?
Oh, I guess because I still play it, but I don't play it as often. It would probably be Girlfriend.
Okay, that would have been my guess. That's still one of my favorites.
But of course, one of my favorites to do. Everyone has their own favorite original, which I love.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of my originals like are the same song, and I love that about my own songs, because I don't want to. Not that AC/DC isn't great and they're not awesome with what they do, but I don't want to make like songs that are gonna have the same drum beat if you just like medley them all together.
Yes, I know.
But pretty much all my songs are they gravitate towards some people than they do to other people. But different people ask for different stuff. I hear Believe It. I hear Girlfriend. Some people actually ask for some kind of love song. I've done it once on a Periscope, but I'm trying to figure out an arrangement for it, because it's very much like a build-up type of song, and
Yeah.
it's a 4-chord song, but I had a lot of fun doing it, because I was actually very hesitant about releasing it. I wrote it in 2013, I want to say, and I didn't know what to do with it, because it is a 4-chord song, and it wouldn't really go anywhere if it didn't build instrumentally.
Yeah.
It originally started out with a chorus. It was originally in a much higher key, because of course in 2013 I wasn't exactly I didn't exactly have a dropped voice, but it was a lot of fun kind of morphing that song into what it is now, and
Yeah.
I'm really proud of all my songs.
Yeah, you've done a really good job. I really have. Like I said, all of them I've listened to. I've always enjoyed them.
Thank you.
You know, I think it's time for everybody to hear another song from you. What do you think?
I'm good with that.
Living here
That was another cool song. You know, and I could keep saying you do a wonderful job with everything, and all your writing and your instrumental part of it's all out there really good. You know, are you? Let's see. You know, you got a great band going on there, and I don't know if what you have on YouTube is the entirety of the band. Is that the whole thing that I see? Usually only two or three people I see behind you.
As far as the Real Rock Revolution, the main two people in the Real Rock Revolution are Patrick Smith on bass, who just had his birthday. Oh my goodness, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago. And Larry Clemens Jr. on drums, who is an absolute beast. That's why he's called the Hulk as well. They're amazing. And whenever Cleo Cadence, who is another singer who occasionally is in the band whenever she's available, she has a lot of her own stuff going on, but she sings and she does little dances in the background whenever she's not singing.
I've seen her on some of your stuff. She does a good job too.
Yes.
I just wonder if that's your normal band, or you plan on adding more to it, or you just want to leave it just like it is.
I'm really satisfied with where the Real Rock Revolution is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick and Larry are awesome. They're tight together, and it's very crucial to be able to communicate while you're on stage, because of course you can't hear the people who are on stage when you're right next to the amps that are blasting for the people in the back to hear.
Yeah.
But they're really awesome. They know how to play their instruments. They're quick learners, which is awesome for me, because I honestly I don't want to say I get irritated, but I definitely like it when people are able to like learn a song just like that. And of course they're not like perfect, but they know like their way around like a scale. They know their way around like a certain groove or something like that. Yeah. So that they can know like how to wing a song if they forget it, because Patrick plays in like 10 or 15 bands.
Can't possibly remember everything just right.
Oh yes. So it's very good that they at least know how to wing it if they don't perfectly remember a song.
Yeah.
But as far as adding new members, who knows? Yeah. I don't know if maybe be adding another guitar player. I don't know if I'm going to be adding those 3 backup singers you see in those bands who are just like snapping and doing all that.
That'd be cool.
Hey. But I never know. I never know what happens these days. So we'll see what happens. But I'm really satisfied with the Real Rock Revolution right now.
Yeah, they does sound great. You know, they really do. I like them a lot. You've done really well choosing these people. I guess you chose them, or did they choose you?
I actually chose them. I was really lucky. I found Patrick a long time before we even did our first show. Maybe like half a year before. And then Larry, of course. I went through a couple drummers before I found Larry, and when Patrick and I had our first jam session with Larry, we were like, okay, this guy. And he's a great funk drummer. He's a great rock drummer, and he's very diverse in what he plays. Yes. And I'm getting him into the Led Zeppelin stuff, and that's been a blast to kind of get him into that. Yeah. So
when you're out in public somewhere, y'all performing, we all know, I know, and most people know you're rockers. But does anybody ever throw in something different, just out of the blue? Say, hey, you sing this song? It's not really your thing.
People have told me to go into country, either Southern rock or country.
Yeah.
Man, I can't really think of like a specific song that I've been like requested to do, but I've heard a lot of people have told me to go into pop or country, but no one has ever requested a rap song yet. So I'm thankful for that.
Okay. Now, look, where I go down and see people down in Nashville all the time, and sometimes, a lot, of course, big majority is country, of course, and they'll be on stage and somebody requests it to be a pop song or something. Hey, don't you know they're singing country? I mean, But if they happen to know it, they'll sing it. But it's not always the case. I just wonder if you ran into the same situation sometime.
Right.
Where does your inspiration come from when you writing songs and stuff?
Well, when I'm writing songs, it's like I said, it just really comes from whatever I'm listening to. For example, right now I'm finding that of course I'm writing in a rock type of formulas and arrangements and all that kind of stuff. I've been listening to Led Zeppelin and Queen. The Queen movie was amazing, by the way. I don't care what the critics say. But I've been listening to Led Zeppelin and Queen and Kiss and all that kind of stuff. And I found myself writing in that type of formula, that type of arrangement, different like chord structures and like chord arrangements and all that kind of stuff. But I found myself listening, whenever I'm listening to Wings, I might write Who to Be. Whenever I'm like, for example, there might be like an oddball song that comes out of nowhere, like Sweeter Than a Melody, which I forgot about for a long time. It's a very pop song, but it really just comes down to whatever I'm listening to at the time.
Yeah. I always like asking people where their songs come from, because you never know. Some people says they'll be at a restaurant and somebody will say something and an idea pop in their head, or sometimes just a dream when they're asleep. They'll be dream something, they'll wake up, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think, like a month ago, I couldn't sleep. I was just up all night, and all of a sudden at like 4:00 in the morning, I just picked up my acoustic guitar and I just put down like 13 or 12 or 13 song ideas just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they came from. I wasn't exactly like listening to a certain like person at the time or a certain band at the time, but it just comes out of nowhere. It just pops into your mind, and if you get the privilege to like have a guitar near or a piano near, it's awesome just to kind of riff out and just see what comes out. But like when you were saying, like when it happens at a restaurant, it's not really much you can do besides just go into like start recording like a voice memo and just go din din din. And of course, but it's a lot of fun when you have those moments.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet that is really cool. In music, who do you look up to? I know there's a bunch of people you've always been, because you, like I said, a lot of your music and a lot of your cover songs come from a lot of different bands. I just wonder who do you really look up to?
I look up to a lot of different people as far as like different instruments. I love John Bonham, of course, because he reinvented rock drums in my mind.
Yeah.
And of course, different people for different instruments, but most of all, I really look up to Paul McCartney because he's been doing this for over 50 years. He's still going. He's still singing Helter Skelter after the end of a 2-hour set, and he's still nailing it. But he's had so much just longevity.
Yes.
And he's had so many hardships as far as his closest friends, losing his closest friends like John and Linda and George and his mom, of course.
Yes.
But he's still found a way to be inspired by music and he still wants to do music in his 70s now. It's just crazy to me.
Well, it's great to keep on going. I mean,
oh yes.
I think most musicians or singers, no matter what, they go until they just can't go anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be that way for a lot of people. It really does.
Seems to be that way for Kiss since they're lip syncing now.
Well, I've heard that about others. I'm not going to mention no names, but I've heard that about some others in the past.
I'm just kidding. I love Kiss. They've been doing it for a while, and Paul's been screaming his lungs out for 40 years.
Yes, I remember when they come out. I never did get to go to a Kiss concert, but my very first concert I went to was Foreigner.
Yeah?
I don't know if you've ever listened to them or not. But
yeah.
That was my
I love
first one.
Hawaii.
That was a great show right there.
I've gotten to see Kiss 2 times. Both were like maybe like 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I am gonna go see the End of the Road tour just to see how it plays out.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm of course, where I've been following talent forever. I follow a lot of these talent shows, and of course, you was on one, and I enjoyed seeing you on there. What was the experience for you like being on Idol?
Well, Idol. It was. I'll say it's an interesting experience. That's probably. I don't really know what to say about it. It's a TV show.
Yes, it is.
And they have people to. They have a channel network to appeal to. They have an
Yes.
audience to appeal to.
Yes.
Everything is pre-planned and predetermined with who they select, and most of the people who get on those TV shows are selected by the people who are casting for this, like the producers and the
Yes.
people who are casting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Not saying that the people who go to the cattle calls and all that don't get in, but there's a higher chance. Of course, there's a higher chance if they find you. And I was fortunate enough for them to find me on both The Voice and American Idol.
Yeah.
For example, after I got off American Idol, I learned that they were actually looking for a country artist. And if you look at this latest season, if you look at the top 5, all 5 of them are actually country.
Yes, there was a lot of country. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But if that's what they're looking for, then that's what they're looking for, and that's what they can promote. Because, of course, right now, I do think rock is coming back, but it's obviously more marketable for a country artist or a pop artist.
Yeah.
And of course, it was their comeback season, so they needed something that they knew would work. But I'm glad I did them. I honestly don't think I'll do them again.
Yeah.
I got to meet a lot of great people. I've got to make connections with a lot of great people because of them. But I don't think it would be necessary to go on them again, because they of course, because the confidentiality issue.
Yeah.
With
There's
not
a
being
lot of
able
that,
to
yes.
do your own thing for The Voice, it was 5 months. But I'm glad I got to meet a lot of great people, both on the show and from people who watch the show, like you. But I'm definitely glad I did it. But I'm glad to be just playing shows and writing now.
Yeah. Did the exposure help you any? Could you tell if it helped?
Oh yes, I got to meet a lot of great people. It's mainly just with meeting a lot of great people because, of course, they're more interested in promoting themselves and getting their ratings.
Yes. Yes, they are.
But it's definitely more of just like using that platform to reach more people.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the main takeaway.
Yeah, it is. And, I know a lot of people has been on the various shows, and some has done well with it. Some as far as progressing on the show. I mean, but as far as being on there, even for a short period of time, most have said that it has helped them with their gigs and things like that. They've had more opportunity when it comes to that.
With the whole people relations thing, people watch TV, of course.
Yes, oh yeah.
And it's funny, when I was at NAMM, people kept coming. Well, not a lot of people, but there were certain people who would come up to me like, "I know you from somewhere, but I can't pick it out."
Yeah.
And it's crazy because on American Idol, I probably got like maybe a minute total of airtime, but it was still enough to make somewhat of an impact on someone. And it's really humbling to think about that. Just a little bit of airtime on a TV show can leave an impact on someone, and leave an impression on someone of who you are and what you do.
Well, that means you've done something right. I mean, you touched somebody somehow for them to remember you. And that's what it's about. If they don't remember you, I mean, you're not doing anything.
Right.
You touched somebody, they remembered you. So that's good. They'll probably always remember you now.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So where do you perform at most? Is it in Texas, or do you venture to other states nearby, or what do you do?
Right now, I'm mostly performing in Dallas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm trying to gig as much as I can in Dallas so that maybe I can meet someone who could maybe get me out somewhere else, because I'm fortunate enough to have people who are not in Texas, who are in other parts of the world.
Yes.
And I'd love to be able to venture out and go to some other places around the world. Like whenever I got to tour with Zendaya when I was 13 or something like that. I got to go to places like California to perform, New York, Canada. I even went to Chicago for a show. That was awesome, of course. And then of course I got to go to the UK for a show and then a little private party.
Yeah.
But I'd love to be able to go to places like Austin, in New York, and LA, and London, and Germany, just to be able to reach more people. Because of course, Dallas is only a very, very small part of the world.
But it's a big place.
yes, it is. But I'd love to be able to. I'd love to be able to actually meet more people, because I've gotten the privilege to talk to people through social media, but it's a totally different feeling when you're face to face.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Performing to someone.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what your situation is there, because everybody's different. I do know some of the people I know out here. They basically got tired of waiting on like labels and management and all this kind of stuff, giving them a nudge and get them out there. They've taken the stuff, matters into their own hands. They're setting up their own gigs everywhere. They're kind of making their own tours.
Oh yeah,
they're making their own radio shows. They're not hitting the mainstream radio. They're hitting, like the big conglomerates. They're not hitting like Nash and all that. They're hitting on all these hometown radios, these small hometown individually owned radios, and they're getting in and they're getting their music played.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if that's something you've thought about doing or something, because it's made a world of difference for them.
I've honestly been doing that, because record companies honestly don't work like they used to. They I don't want to say that they just kind of jump on a bandwagon of someone who has like a lot of followers and their own audience, but not as much as they used to when they would actually like help get the person out there so they could get that audience. But it's definitely like the better option as far as reliability, just to be able to kind of reach out to local hometown stations and online radio shows, just to be able to kind of take baby steps, just to kind of, because you can't just like, I learned the hard way that you can't really take shortcuts and expect to just blow up because of it. Because going back to the whole TV shows deal, I can't remember many winners from The Voice or American Idol who have made it really far. I might be able to think of like maybe Kelly Clarkson, that one country dude. I think his name was Scott McCready or something. But you really just have to kind of get going, and you have to get yourself out there, because you can't just wait for something to fall in your lap.
That's true. You do. And I think that's what a lot of people, at least out here that I get to talk to regular, that's what they're finding out. They pretty much have to get out and start doing it themselves. They can't, if anything's going to happen, they're going to have to do it.
Right.
If you do go to a label, I've been finding out, I've been, talking with people, they've been going to, instead of a major label, they're taking an offshoot of it. one of the major stars, they'll start their own label so they can get out of the
Mhm.
contracts over here. And when they start that label, people move to them because
Right.
it's easier to get in, even though they're a small label. They're still connected and can get them out there.
Mhm.
You know, it's a good thing. I don't know how well you get around to meet any of these kind of people, or if you've been keeping up with labels of any kind of way. But I'm sure L.A., which is closest to you, I'm sure they have some that's the same, where major stars have started their own thing that might make it easier to get into.
Mhm. It's really hard to say because the label is the ultimate goal.
Yes.
Just to have someone to promote you and have the connections to be able to promote you. But it's hard to just jump to it. You just kind of have to work your way. You have to work your way to it with the smaller radio stations, the smaller promoters, and just finding anyone who will get you to one person, who will get you to the next, who will get you to the next, who will finally get you to the person you're looking for.
The one who's willing to work.
Yes.
That's another thing I found out here too. Is just because somebody says they're a manager or a publisher or whatever, doesn't mean they're actually going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there's some people comes along, they do everything possible trying to get that person out there. I mean, they just work day and night. So there's a big difference, you know.
Oh yeah,
big difference. Yeah, I think it's time for another song. What do you say?
Hey, I'm always good for that.
All right, here it is. Light it up. That was another great song. You know, I always enjoy everything. You know, one of the things about you I liked in the past is that top hat you used to wear.
Yeah.
You ever still wear that?
I do have it. I love Adam Rose Tattoo did that little design on the hat, and I saw that hat and I was like, I have to have that.
Yeah.
It's hard to wear on stage, of course, because I don't exactly keep my head still.
Yeah.
And it was a very expensive hat, so I don't want to just kind of like throw it around like Angus would throw his school cap around.
Yeah, I like it because a friend of mine in Nashville, she wears one. Yeah, on all of her gigs out, she wears one like it, and it's really cool. It's become her almost her signature kind of thing. You know, everybody expects her to have it on now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. It really is. What would be your ultimate place to perform if you got to choose somewhere?
Ooh, for I have a top 3.
Okay.
Wembley Stadium, of course, because of Live Aid and all the people who've performed at Wembley. Hollywood Bowl, it's a legendary place. And of course, I'd probably go with Budokan.
Oh, that's great. You know, everybody always says Madison Square Garden and everything. I'm glad.
That would be another good one.
I'm glad you got something different going on. That's good. You know, leaving everybody out over here, just sticking to this one place over here. What's your plans for the future? You plan on college, or what's the deal?
I honestly don't know. After these TV shows fell out of nowhere, I honestly have no clue what is ever going to happen. As far as college goes, I don't know if I will be going to college, because 4 years is a long time to be sharing between academics and a career.
Yes.
But for right now, I'm really going to be trying to work on music and really try to get myself out there. And if that doesn't work, I'll probably try to go into more in the behind the scenes, like maybe being an engineer, an audio engineer or something like that. Or maybe entertainment law. Who knows?
Well, yeah.
But as long as I'm still doing music, I'm going to keep writing, keep playing shows, and keep trying to reach more people.
Well, what you're doing, I mean, right now, basically, with all the instruments you play and doing so much new stuff, you're basically a session player on top of everything. You ever thought about doing that? I mean, that's something you could do right now. To help bring in a few bucks, you could be a session player for other people.
It's crossed my mind. And I've never been opposed to it. I've always thought it would be like a cool thing to try, because I'm usually a very quick learner. I don't read sheet music. I know that might come to a surprise for some people. Paul McCartney still doesn't know how to read sheet music. But I'm very good when it just comes to listening to something. But it is crossed my mind from time to time, so maybe someday I'll try it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing to do. I mean, it can be done at any time. I got a friend of mine in Nashville. He's got a lot of gold records and stuff, and from writing and session player, and he's a producer. And I send people to him every now and then. And thing is, I don't know if he reads music or not. I've never seen him pick up a piece of sheet music.
Yeah.
He just picks it up and plays whatever it is. And it's a good way of being. And I figure, well, you might be a lot the same way. You just pick it up, you get the idea, get the vibe for the song, and just play something.
Especially if you're hiring a studio musician, if you know who the studio musician is, you'd assume they'd have their own feel to what they do, and their own little flavor or spice that they put into whatever part you want them to play.
Yes.
And I know someone who I've got to become friends with recently, Rich Redmond, who is the drummer for Jason Aldean. He does a lot of session work, and he has his own groove, and I love, of course, like almost a helicopter hit he does when he's screwing. He's just like doing all that. But I think everyone has their own groove, and I don't think that sheet music technically takes like the groove or the feeling out of something, but I think it's a lot better when you hear something and then you put your own your own style into it.
Yes.
Of course, not too much where it's not true to what the writer wants for the song.
Yeah.
But if you know who you're hiring, I guess it should be expected for that.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people do. I mean, a lot of major stars, Keith Urban, he's one. He people ask him to play on a lot of their records because they know if they ask him to play a guitar one of his, they're getting something special. He's going to do something just for them to fit what they're doing exactly. And it's a great little side business, I guess you say.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You plan on hitting the road to go play anywhere? You got anything coming up?
Well, as far as shows, in Austin on March 14th, I'll be playing at the Austin. It's a festival. It's Texas Indie Fest.
Okay.
Texas Indie Fest in Austin on March 14th. On April 28th, I'll be at the Dallas Food Truck Palooza, which I've been doing for a couple of years. It's a lot of fun. And on May 5th, I'll be playing at the Dallas Guitar Show, which is always a fun time. That'll be somewhere around like the 1 year mark of the Real Rock Revolution's first show, which was actually at the Guitar Show. So I think those are the big three that are coming up. So yeah.
Okay, cool. What else you have coming? You got any new songs coming out that you're working on?
Yes, I do.
You do? All right.
I'm really trying to write a lot lately. It's been a while since I've released Believe It. And there's gonna be a new song. Beautiful Disaster was like, I think Beautiful Disaster is like the one song that like honestly doesn't fit with anything else because it was such like a dive into like the whole pop genre, but I'm really gonna try and get back into rock. This next song that's coming out, I'll tell you, it's called Lead Me.
Oh.
I think it either rivals Believe It or it's even better than Believe It. It's got a great riff, it's got a great hook, and I'm really proud of it, and I can't wait for you to hear it.
All right, bring it on.
That's all I can say so far.
What about, you ever thought about doing another EP or a CD or anything?
I hope so. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put a couple singles out, and then I might put those singles on a CD, and then maybe some more, or maybe just a CD. Who knows?
Do you take stuff like that with you when you go to performance and put it out so people can get it?
Oh yes.
Merchandise when you go out.
You kind of have to because you never know who you're going to see. For most people, you only get one shot with the people who were there.
Yes.
For example, I heard this story about this lady who was playing at this little club somewhere in California, and all of a sudden, Nuno Betancourt just walks by and heard her and was like, "Hey, I want to take you farther than you are right now because you're too good for where you are right now."
Yeah.
So you really just have to promote. You have to be equipped to promote yourself in whatever situation, and that's a great thing about something like NAMM.
Yes.
Because there were a lot of people at NAMM this year, and you have to be equipped to be able to know what to give, what to say to certain people, and you have to be able to present yourself in the best way to everyone and anyone.
Do you when you go out to them kind of places? I'm just curious. Do you ever try to give them a song or anything? Somebody.
I always try to give people my CD, just as a taste of what I do. But I also give them like a card. Hello, I'm Griffin Tucker. Here's my card. But I always try to give them a CD just so they can know if they're interested in who I am. Just a little taste of what I do and what my sound is.
Yeah.
But you always have to get yourself out there because you never know who you're going to meet, when you're going to meet them. So you just have to be able to present yourself in the best way whenever.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's kind of I don't know if it's a personal pref when it comes to the major artists and those who are involved with them, whether it's band members or whatever. Down in Nashville, sometimes, of course, you're going to run into somebody because there's people everywhere. You're going to run into their band members, you're going to run into them, or you're going to run into somebody in their family because everybody's around there. And some people, if there's an artist there and they're singing, and they'll give them their CD or EP or whatever they have, some refuse to take it, and some will take it. And the refusal is not out of because they don't like it. They're afraid that if they hear it and then they produce a song later and happens to be too similar, that they're afraid they might get something back, bad stuff back.
Right.
Whatever. So it's kind of a toss up. You ever run into anything like that out there?
I've never ran into someone who was refused to take a CD.
Yeah.
I've always thought that people liked free stuff.
Well, most people do. I think it depends on who they are.
I get what you're saying and I've had that struggle too of songs sounding a bit too similar to a certain song.
Yes.
Or a certain band. I found out later whenever I listened back to some of my songs, I was like, oh, that might be a little too similar to this, or that might be a little too similar to that, but I guess other people don't pick up on it, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that is absolutely. Where can people find your music so they can keep up with it?
My website has everything. It leads you to everywhere. Leads you to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reverb Nation, anything like that. It's www. Or you can choose to leave that out because Google knows what you're talking about. GriffinTuckerMusic.rocks or .com if you so please, but I prefer .rocks.
Okay. Is there anything like you would like to tell all your fans or anything while we're here?
To all my fans, including you, Tommy.
Oh, awesome.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you and everyone for everything that you have done to get me where I am all these years. I wouldn't be talking to you right now if it weren't for everyone and helping me to reach more people, to reach people like American Idol and all these different places. And one of these days, I hope to meet you, Tommy. I hope to meet everyone who's watching this interview right now. I'd hope to be able to meet any of you just to thank you for what you've done to get me where I am. So basically, just thank you.
Well, I'm sure there's a bunch out there who'd would really like to meet you as well, and hopefully one day you'll get around the world and meet everybody.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It'll happen one day. You just got to stick with it. Well, I'd like to thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been great having you too and learning a lot more about you. This is certainly a lot more fun, and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Please stop by, everybody, at Griffin's website. Keep track of all of his music, everything that's going on with him, his gigs, and whenever possible, go see him live someplace. And until next time, we'll see you again right here on S.I.T.E.